Good morning, everybody. My name is Halona Black, and this is our Wednesday AM Meditative Writing Circle. We meet every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to be able to start off our creativity first thing in the morning with journaling, questions. So yeah, if you are watching the replay and you want to be a part of this, you can be a part of it live, or if you want to be able to get notifications of when we meet, you can go to the description box and put in your name and your email address, and you'll be able to get notifications of every time that we meet. Good morning, Miss Cynthia. I think Miss Jamila just came in. So we always start off with just a short meditation to be able to center ourselves into the circle. So during meditation, you can decide to keep your video on or off. That is totally up to you. I'm going to keep my video on, but I do like to keep my glasses off. And you just sit yourself in your seat for a moment. Put your feet flat on the floor. I like to close my eyes. If it feels safer for you, you can just sort of lower your gaze if that feels more comfortable for you. And before I write, I just like to be able to allow my breath and my heartbeat to catch up with one another. You can place your hands in your lap or wherever it feels most comfortable. As you move quickly from one place to another, it's very easy to lose track of our breath. So just allow yourself to just slow down for a moment before we get started so that your attention is in one place. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we can go ahead and get started on today's topic. Because says she's going to grab a pen. Sakai is here as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so today we are talking about the topic of, good morning, Tiffany. Wonderful to have you. Lauren is here too. I love seeing all your faces pop up on the screen. Today we're talking about personal integrity and the power of keeping promises to yourself. So I like this topic just because it's really, what did I want to say? Keeping promises to yourself is really about learning how to trust yourself. And really just an act of self-love. You know, we like to be able to keep our promises to other people because I think we are overly concerned with how we look to other people, but we're so very willing to be to let ourselves down in ways that we don't really think about unless we actually sit down and think about it. So we're going to do a little bit of self-reflection. And the first topic I wanted to talk about was the topic of why it is that we break promises to ourselves. So as I just said, we often prioritize external validation over what it is that we need. We often underestimate our worth and put ourselves last. And then lastly, we fear that honoring our own needs will disrupt relationships or expectations. So today's question, and I'll put it in the chat, is when was the last time I broke a promise to myself? How did it make me feel? When was the last time I broke a promise to myself? How did it make me feel? Right, so first question, when was the last time I broke a promise to myself and how did it make me feel? I would love to hear your thoughts. Anybody who wants to share, you can just unmute yourself. Nobody wants to go first? Do I need to go first?
I wrote like this long thing and then realized the answer for me came in like the last two sentences.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
Yeah, because the bottom line is that I often honor other people more than I do myself. It's easy for me to break promises to myself, or at least to not do what I say I won't do. And for a minute, it was hard for me to get to disappointment. I didn't really to get to the feeling, which is disappointment, because I really didn't feel that I felt anything about it, except that it leads to a lack of trust. And then I realized, yeah, I do. I feel disappointed, in
Mhm,
that. And it causes me to not trust that I will do what I say I will do for myself.
mhm. Yeah, the same for myself, which is usually about job or business related stuff. For me, I think I've gotten a lot better at learning how to trust myself as far as my health is concerned. And that's really more so because I've created a space where I could completely focus on that. And so I've had more practice in stretching myself to learn how to be able to trust myself in taking care of my health. And so now I'm like, well, nothing, very few things get in the way of doing the things that I need to do for my personal health. And so now I'm learning how to extend that into my own things that I do for my business and building the thing that I said that I want to create. Sakai, did you say that you wanted to share too?
I had said that. Mhm. Th-
Did you say something?
I did. Sakai, did you go on to go?
No, no, go ahead, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, Miss Carol.
Okay. I'm going back to the page. Um, it's been more years than I can count since I've broken a promise to myself. Once I realized that I was being sucked dry by a spirit of overcaring, I began to check myself, and although the change was gradual, it was thorough. Breaking promises to myself made me feel useless. It took a while to realize that feeling didn't come from others, it came from me. I made a list of what I wanted to happen and what I didn't want to happen in my life, and I made it law. I began to discipline myself to focus on my needs, my wants, and my safety. Having experienced domestic violence, safety was big for me. And so I stopped writing at that point, but just to put a cap on it, um, those lists helped me identify exactly who I wanted to be. And I just dedicated myself to that being. Yeah. And I always like to say I married myself. And yeah, that's how I stopped, by coming face to face with the flaws, the
Mhm.
shortcomings. Yeah.
You said by writing it down?
Yes.
Mhm.
I would make a list. I'd fold, I don't know if you all did this in school, where you fold the paper,
Mhm.
into twos or fours. You know how they had you make the one list down one side and one list. That's what I would do. I would revert back to elementary school. And I would make a list of what I want and what I don't want. what was happening that I wanted to get rid of, and how I would replace it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't do the folding of the paper, but yeah, I like to be able to make lists.
Mm-hmm.
But the folding of the paper is a good idea too.
Mm-hmm.
When you make, I have lists of all sorts of things. It's like
Mm-hmm.
having a conversation with yourself in your head of what it is that you want or don't want, what it is that you're willing to tolerate, and what could go to the wayside.
Yes.
And that's why I really think writing itself is just so it's just so important. When it's just a conversation with yourself in your head, it's like you don't take it seriously. You don't remember it, but when you actually sit down and write it down, it just sort of reinforces your thoughts and your feelings.
It's true, because when I go back to my journals and I look at them, I'm like, who was that? I don't even recognize myself. And there are times that I actually threw the journals away to symbolize that that person just no longer, it died. That person died, you know? So I just buried it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I like that phrase, saying that person died. I've been saying that a lot too. People ask me questions. I was like, that was 3 or 4 persons ago.
That's
And
funny.
they're all dead and gone.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Karen.
You're welcome.
I like to respond to what you guys were saying. That's awesome. Like if you say 2 or 3 persons ago, it's like that really means growth. And if the other people don't catch up, people have to adjust to the new you.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Carol, I love when it was surprised when you said it's been a long time since I broke a promise to myself. I'm the opposite, so that's very encouraging. And I think you said after you made a list, did you say you made it law?
Oh, I made it law. It's law.
I love it. I love that.
But that's the power of no. Once
Mhm.
I learned the power of no, it became easier.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to be afraid to say no.
Yes, thank you for that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
I like that word, saying that you make it law. I tend to get very passionate when people cross boundaries with me about how it is that I take care of myself. They're like, oh, you don't need to be asleep at this hour, or you should be, just eat this stuff over here, or something that they think is weird that I do for myself. And I'm like, yeah, I almost died trying to take care of myself. I'm really not about to give up nothing, just so I can, hang out and be cool with you. It's just not happening. This is the way it is, or you can go ahead, do what you want to do. I'm fine with being by myself. People are afraid of being by themselves, just being able to make a decision and be able to stand on their own. It doesn't really matter, how old they get. I notice people are afraid to just be able to stand on their own square and be able to state, this is who I am, this is what I need. And you can either support that or not. In either way is fine. But I am responsible for myself. That's something that I find myself always saying. If I don't take care of me, it will not happen.
And can I add? I think, and I'm not even there. I'm ascribing to get there to that, but it makes people uncomfortable, even when you're just trying to do that.
Mhm. Yeah, let them be uncomfortable. It's fine. They will survive, but you might not. That's the problem. You have to take care of you. You have to care about whether or not you survive.
That's right.
Mhm.
I would like to add also when and Carolyn, that was extremely powerful what you said about saying no to ourselves and being honoring what we say we're going to do. And to add to that, saying no is a part of setting boundaries. And so when we say that no, we set our own internal personal boundary. Because for me, I think one of the reasons I maybe don't keep my promises to myself because there's nobody there to call me out and to hold me accountable to it. And so what you shared, what you brought up is very deep and it really resonates with me because I talk highly about boundaries, but we never really, or I never really talk about keeping those, setting those boundaries for my own self. So that was very, very, um, it made me think deeper. So thank you. That was just totally powerful.
Thank you, Cynthia.
So I just want to put out a warning. It takes some sessions of self-flagellating. You know,
Mm.
you gotta hold that mirror up and stare right into your own eyes.
And that's
Recommended
scary.
mirror work from Louise Hay will help you do that
Yes.
with
Yes.
affirmations. You know,
Mm.
after you recognize the shortcoming, turn it into an I am of what you want to happen.
Mm.
Yeah, that's really a matter of honoring your self-worth, which was a project or is a continuing project really for me, honoring your self-worth. Stuff I feel like I should have learned in kindergarten, but I learned in my 40s. And it's okay, so long as I learn it eventually. All right, so that brings me to the next question. The relationship between self-trust and self-respect. The question is, what does self-respect look like in action for me? What does self-respect look like in action for me? Okay, the question is, what does self-respect look like in action for me?
Hey, Alana, I can go. It's not profound,
Everything is
but
profound.
I said, for me, not allowing others to put more on me than I can physically, mentally, or spiritually handle at a particular time. Being able to say no or to say, to someone, let me get back to you, is powerful to me. Um, because I do know, and I know my friend can vouch for me, I do make myself available a lot for my family. Um, even when I set boundaries. So I'm learning to, make more time for myself, for exercise, for rest, for reading, working on my projects, and just doing what I want to do. And so that's showing me some respect, giving me time because I found that I have not always done that. Family was always first, had my job, had my work, had my church things, and found out I didn't carve time out for me. So um even my husband, he'll make comments and stuff like, and I'm glad he notices it. So my kids are grown, he's grown. And so a challenge for me every single day is if I see something that needs to be done, don't do it. I'm learning I am not the only adult in this relationship. My kids are grown. Sometimes they have to figure some things out. I still help a lot, but sometimes I'm learning to have to learn to back up, respect yourself enough to do what you had originally planned to do and let them figure it out. So that's where I'm coming from. Giving myself more respect by giving myself more time for me.
Mhm. I don't know what was not profound about that. That is profound.
Thank you.
I'm happy to go next. I
Yeah,
think that I spent most of my time kind of defining what self-respect is, but then ultimately the action for me is just knowing that I have the power of choice. And so choosing to be able to do a lot of different things. But basically I said, I hope you guys can hear me. It feels loud to me, but pretty much self-respect looks like self-discipline and self-love. When I think of respect, I think of reverence regarding someone, or in this case, myself. And knowing that I have respect for myself is a way to honor all the moments, the memories, the experiences, and the ancestors that breathed life into me to be here where I am in this specific moment in time. So because respect is such an honorific to me, it requires me to choose actions, things in my lifestyle and ways of being to get me where I want to be and to choose to show up for myself. So the action is in the choices for me.
action is in the choices. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you.
I can go.
Yeah.
I guess I took a little twist on this. When you asked that question, I think initially I said, "Oh yeah, my self-respect is, on point." But then I started thinking about it, and I realized I kind of went historically on this. In the beginning, I had my best life. Then I ended, and my self-respect was just like off the chain. Then I lost myself in a DV relationship for quite a few years. Then um, I rebuilt myself very well. But then now that I'm doing better, I realize that externally, I you see self-respect. You see me, with my priorities, my boundaries, my integrity, blah, 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 blah. But then when I get home, it's different. When I start getting in touch with myself, I realize I have the outside, but what am I doing on the inside? You know? So uh what came to me, where is it at? I pulled it up because I can never remember it for word. There is a quote by Maya Angelou. Do the best you can. Ah, oh man, it's killing me. Here it is. It slid down the screen. And I don't have my mouse. I'm sorry. There it is. Ah, I can't find it. But do you all, I had it up here on my screen, but I can't find it. Do you all know the quote I'm talking about? Maya Angelou?
No.
Okay, here it is.
What's it? Oh, go ahead.
Here it is. Why is it every time I get on here, something screws? Here it is. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. So I'm in that part right there with the self-respect. I'm still strong in who I am, but there's parts of me that I feel that I can do better with. So that's what I'm doing with that. I'm honoring myself, and I'm selfish in a good way. Everybody hears selfish and they're just like, oh, selfish is so bad. No, selfish is very good. If I'm being selfish with myself and what I need to do for myself. Being a loner, I'm very much a loner. I'm not influenced by what other people think or whatever. I never have been. I guess that's being an only child, but that doesn't weigh. I'm harder on myself than anybody could ever be. So, and I think what I'm saying even shows that I'm harder on myself than anyone could ever be, but it makes me better. So I work on that on a daily basis, trying to build those little parts of me that kind of get lost in the wayside, get little lost in the cracks. But that's what that looks like to me in action, doing better for myself and building on that self-respect. I'm done.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you.
I just want to say shout out to the only children. And I put self-respect looks like a bubble bath. It looks like NO. Self-respect is a good meal and financial fluidity. Self-respect is learning new things and meeting new people. Self-respect is prayer, nature, and being vigilant about who I share my time with on any given day. Excuse me. Self-respect is keeping joy in my heart and a smile on my face, even in the darkest hours. Self-respect is letting them see me sweat as they bear witness to my phoenix-like resurrection. Self-respect is minding my own business. Self-respect is keeping people out of mine. Self-respect is self-love and self-adoration. Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
That sounds like a manifesto to put on the wall.
No, I was like, that covers it all, right? It's something for
Like, is
everybody.
that published? I'm like, is that published? And why not?
I love the
Thanks for
minding
planting the
your own
seed.
business.
What did you say, Cynthia? I'm sorry.
I love staying out of other people's business and
What?
minding your own.
Mm,
Because, yes,
that one's real tasty.
yes, that was a nugget for real.
One of the things that I wrote about was using the word try. I'm in a book in a group where I'm reading, what's it called? The book is called Happy Pocket Full of Money, where it just talks about how, just how to be more abundant, not necessarily just dollar wise, but just to be more abundant in all different ways in your life. And one of the chapters, the author talks about using the word try. And when I was reading it, what came up in my head was a picture of an incomplete circle. So when we use the word try, and I think I've used that word often in reference to myself and what it is that I say that I want to do, I never complete the thing. which is why I don't get the thing that I want on the other end of what it is that I said that I want. And so in learning how to have more integrity with myself, to be able to practice more self-love and self-respect, I'm learning how to remove the word try from my vocabulary and just focus on the things that I have done. And if I don't do it, now I have to hold myself accountable to why, which is one of the things that I do in my own personal journaling sessions. I have goals that I say that I want to be able to hit, no matter what, they could be, solely personal goals or other goals that I have in my life. And then I get to sit down and say, all right, well, I didn't meet this goal, and why not? Rather than use it as a beat yourself up sort of a thing, but to really just sort of sit down and think about, what happened? What is it that I'm not seeing, or where is it that I'm not, being able to meet myself in a way that will help me to hit the goal that I want to be able to meet. So I'm learning how that language is very important, and learning how to be more, to be able to demonstrate more personal integrity with myself.
Can I ask you the name of that book again? Happy.
Happy Pocket Full of Money.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Halona,
Yes.
also with the goals, sometimes it's not time.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not something you didn't do. Sometimes it's just not time. It's incubating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just,
So it's
yeah.
important to leave space for that.
Mhm.
I've learned that, especially over the last 3 years, a lot of dreams I've had over the years are just now manifesting because I'm ready.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So being patient with yourself is important. You're absolutely right. There
Yeah.
has to be the time, and doing the work with yourself, which is why being patient and being kind to yourself while you're hitting your goals is so important. And to be able to focus on, well, what am I learning in the process of getting to the goal? Because you can get very impatient about, why am I not at this particular level in life yet? I've done all the things, and 100 different people are passing me, and you start feeling guilty for what you did or didn't do, and it's really just a waste of time. I'm finding that and that's why minding your business is so important. Minding your business and being satisfied with where you are in your own space. Just be fully involved in where you are, and you'll be surprised. You get so involved with who you are and where you're going that, everybody else's business don't even matter anymore.
I'd like to.
Can I? Oh, go
Oh,
ahead. Go ahead.
just real quick, I'd like to piggyback on what you said. One of the key things too is not to have expectations. Put those
Mhm.
expectations to the side, because that's what screws up your patience. You know what I mean? You're expecting, and like Carolyn said, it happens in the time that it's supposed to happen in.
Mhm.
But expectations, we live by that so hard a lot of the times, and it's just, when it doesn't happen, lets us down. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I know I like with anyone else, you set goals and things like that. And I think I had shared with you all that some goals that I had set, I had to put it to the side because I was just going through so much and I just couldn't be there for myself. And the type of jobs I've always used to when I was working was very time oriented. I mean, every hour on the hour was clocked. Okay. That's how you get paid. Every hour on hour, you get clocked. And so I'm learning in life, I think it's good to set timetables, But again, like you say, don't beat yourself up if you can't meet every single one at that time, because I'm learning that maybe it wasn't meant to happen at that time. So don't beat myself up because I'm not where I want to be, but I know I'm still taking steps to get there. And that's where I get my satisfaction of knowing I'm still moving forward, not necessarily at the pace that I want to move forward. And I've been wearing these little wristbands, and the other day I wore one that said, and it's uplifting to me. I pick one out every day. It said, "You never fail until you stop crying," and that gave me a calm, and not so much the fail, but a calm to say, Claire, you're still trying. You still have that thought. You still have that plan, and just keep working on it, and you're going to get there. And stop beating yourself up while you're at it.
Now, did you want to say something? No? Okay.
Mm.
All right. Third question is what's one promise I can commit to for the next 7 days? What's one promise I can commit to for the next 7 days? We got a few minutes left, so what's one promise I can commit to over the next 7 days?
Hey, good morning,
I'll
y'all.
share.
It's Felicia. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Mine's very simple. I promise to look for reasons to say yes.
Look for reasons to say yes. You've built a habit of saying no to everything? Yeah, the audio cut off. It's muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, in some way. I'm really thinking about more on the lines of having like a kind of structured lifestyle these days and not being very flexible. And I guess it's kind of like making sure I'm doing the right thing, you know. So I know for me, I would like to be a little bit more flexible and look for reasons, look for things to say yes to.
Sure, that's certainly a more positive way to look to be able to look for it. Felicia, did you want to say something?
Hey there. Yes. Really to piggyback off Jamila's comment about flexibility. I'm thinking in more of the physical sense of flexibility. I said the one thing that I can definitely commit to and keep my own promise to myself is moving my body. I'm at a point where I have to do something, whether it's just a 2-step while I'm brushing my teeth or an actual strength training session. Like I have to move my body now as a form of waking up, as a form of feeling pliant in my body. So then I feel pliant in my spirit, which so it's like the flexibility and the power resonates from the physical to the emotional and the spiritual. Like that's really, yeah, like I get up in the morning, I make my morning tonic of hot lemon water with some cayenne pepper, get my own little spiced coffee going, and then I get to moving, at least for 20 minutes. Yeah.
I love that. That sounds like a comforting routine. I love that.
I'll go.
Yes, okay.
I wrote that I'm going to promise to myself for the next 7 days that to be more authentic, to slow down, to stop rushing to get things done. Because that's usually what I use to feed me versus taking time to really acknowledge my feelings, allow myself to really feel, being versus doing, breathing more throughout the day, and to walk daily or sit on the balcony, get that fresh air, and journal, and not accept and create new projects this week. And when at work, I want to take a full break to do these things.
To commit yourself to completing the stuff that's already on your plate.
Yes.
Beautiful. I love it. Anyone else?
It's clear. I just want to commit to starting a new book. As I said, I'm looking at all these books in front of me, and I'm like, okay, you got to pick another one, start one. I'm
To
reading,
read?
but I want to start a new book. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I just want to start a new book.
Yes, reading is important. Anyone else?
Carol, I thought you meant start to write a new book. Mhm.
She said no.
I might start with this one. It's called it's called Fighting Words. 100 Days of Speaking Truth into the Darkness. I love the title. Someone gave it to me, so let's see what it's about.
That sounds like a good title. Last words before we close. All right.
This was an excellent topic. Really, really made me go in deep and think, about how I treat myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say this was the best way to end the final February Black History Month circle. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. I'm glad that you all find value in it. I really enjoy seeing you all every week and that you all are excited. Sometimes you all are in here before I get here.
Mhm.
And so I really enjoy it. Thank you so much. This circle has really been on my heart to do for a number of years, and I really never thought that people, would be interested in getting up early in the morning to be bothered with journal writing. So, so thank you. I really appreciate you all to be here. And I will be back next week with another topic. If there's a topic that you all want to talk about, or would like to create around, you can just send me an email. You can just hit reply on any of the emails that you get from me. But if you just want to send me something directly, my email is hello, HELLO, at halonablack.com. I'll put it in the chat. And to anyone else who watches the replays on YouTube, because I do get people from different parts of the world who actually do watch the replays, as I get their emails or they'll leave me comments. You can just put your email, go to the description box and click the Linktree link and put in your name and email, and you'll get updates and you can join the Circle Live. So thank you all so much, and I will see you all next week.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Love
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Love
Thank
you.
you, my sisters. Thank you, Halana.
you.